Welcome back to Come and Talk It. And now here's Michael Cargill.
All right, so we're back and we're with Cody Wilson. He's with Defense Distributed. We're talking about the Ghost Gunner 3S, which stands for Steel, Superman,
Soviet.
What is it? Soviet?
There's a lot of speed, stability.
But before we talk about the Ghost Gunner 3, Cody, man, there's some lawsuits out there. We kind of crossed paths at the Fifth Circuit in New Orleans.
Yo, we did.
We did.
Hey,
That's right.
You didn't get an opinion yet, did you?
Not yet. We're not going to get an opinion. It'll be after the election.
Yeah.
You know how that
You
goes.
tell me if you got an opinion.
Yeah.
But I heard your panel did great, right?
It was
I heard
great
it was a good panel.
Great
It
panel.
was a whole en banc argument, right?
That's right.
Oh, boy, you just had a chorus then, didn't
Oh,
you?
it was beautiful. There was a judge, one of the judges sat there and said, judges came back and asked this crazy question, and the judge said, hey, you know what? Government attorney. Hey, so you mean to tell me for the last, the last 20 years, 10 years, and 4 presidents, the ATF actually had it wrong. They were wrong. And so bump stocks now, we're supposed to believe that we should ban them now. But you guys were wrong before now.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
And the DOJ attorney says what? Just stammers. He just doesn't know what to say.
Yeah, he didn't have a whole bunch.
That's not. I heard some of your stuff live. I think when they put it out, and I was rooting for you, man. But I heard you doing. I could tell you were having a good time. So I was like, you know what, Mike's got it. And then mine was, I guess, that next day.
Yeah.
I didn't get everything I wanted. In fact, I'm going back.
So what was yours? Was yours like the 3-judge panel?
3-judge panel.
Okay, so what was the case about?
Motion for injunction. This one is me versus New Jersey and the Attorney General of New
New Jersey. So New Jersey suing you suing New Jersey.
I've been suing New Jersey down here since 2018.
All right, so we're suing New Jersey.
They passed a state law in 2018 saying if I shared a file for a gun in Texas,
okay,
and someone from New Jersey could download it,
okay,
it's a felony that I allowed someone in New Jersey to download it, and I have to go to New Jersey State Prison.
Oh, God.
You know what I'm saying? So they're trying, these different states, realizing that the federal system can't control the files on the internet. Each state now is trying to come up with its own crazy, super liberal law. And so that New Jersey one, that's the worst one in the country.
Well, that's a tangle web we weave.
And I've been fighting them tooth and nail for, 4 years on it or whatever. I've gone to the
And that could be anything. Anything that New Jersey deems it, they don't want it to in their state. And just because you have access to the internet.
Yeah.
That's dangerous.
Their pleadings are crazy. They're like,
That's
well,
dangerous.
this would just be like if someone was standing on the corner in New Jersey handing out the files. And I was like, that's not illegal either.
I remember, that, my goodness, like New York, they come up with these, you can't sell large drinks. They come up with some really strange things.
Yeah.
And so they come up with something strange that we don't know about in our state.
Yeah.
And they happen to get access to this item because they get it online.
Yep.
And you can go to jail in that state.
Yeah, and
That's
how
crazy.
it is. You can't control. You can't have a perfect control on it. So
Can't control the internet.
I had to bring the Fifth Circuit 3 times so far on this, where I could slowly get them to admit things like, well, fine, if you filter for IPs, fine, maybe that's fine. They were really threatening me. The Attorney General himself got up on the podium and said, I got to stop this company, Defense Distributed in Austin, Texas. That was gold. That actually helped me keep jurisdiction against the Attorney General down here.
This was in the 3-judge panel?
Oh, man, this is like argument 3 of the same case, okay? The law of the case is really old. This panel that I just went to this last time was about, hey, can we finally get an injunction against New Jersey here?
Okay.
Can we finally stop this madness?
Right.
And they said, well, you know what? We'll give them one chance to send the case back here to Texas because it's been sent over there sometimes. It's over here sometimes. It's a long story. We'll give them one chance, they said, to send it back. They didn't send it back, so now I'm going Tuesday back to New Orleans, back to the Fifth Circuit, en banc courtroom, 3-judge panel. Going back, and we're saying,
wait, is it en banc or is it 3-judge?
En banc courtroom, 3-judge panel.
Oh,
I'm just saying, if anybody wants to come on Tuesday, 9 a.m., en banc courtroom, New Orleans, Louisiana,
3-judge panel.
Defense Distributed v.
Now,
Pratt.
which 3 judges did you draw? That's
I
important.
did okay. Not a killer panel.
Because we didn't do well when it came to the 3-judge panel.
No Democrats on my panel. Thanks for taking the hit there. I got one good Federal Society judge and a couple of squishy Bush appointees. That's how that goes. But
How many were Republican appointed? How many Democrat appointed?
all 3 Republican appointed. It's just, a Bush 41 appointment, that doesn't get you far.
Yeah.
For example, I went out to California 2 weeks ago.
What are the names?
I don't want to dox them. Go look them up on the schedule. I got Jerry Smith. He's a good one. He's a Federal Society judge. He's real good. But
I'm just trying to see if it's anyone I know.
do you know? Nah, you don't know these guys. But look, on this note about Bush judges being no good, I went out to California optimistic the other day because California banned my machine, the Ghost Gunner. Right? They tried to ban it in California with the state law. So I go to a federal judge in California just, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. Judge says, Bush 43 appointee, 2007, Judge Wu. He says, Bruin decision was wrong. It was wrongly decided. I disagree with it. What does the Second Amendment have to do with keeping guns in the home? Just radical anti-Second Amendment stuff. Total contempt for the
The
decision.
Supreme Court that specketh.
And he sends me back home. He spanks my lawyers and sends me back home. Man. So that's
Wow.
how much a Bush appointee gets you.
He's going to be overturned.
What's that?
I mean,
The law?
He'll be overturned.
No, I can't. Who's going to overturn him? I'm not going to. I got to get the crap out of there, man. I don't want to.
Gotcha.
All these judges we're seeing now are deciding to fight against Bruin,
Right.
and they're deciding these insane interpretations. Where now my Judge Wu says, well, actually, what Bruin means is only if it's in the text of the Second Amendment, keeping and bearing arms. Only if it's in the text of the amendment is it protected by the Second Amendment.
Mm.
So under his analysis, magazines aren't protected. Any,
Oh.
any type of regulation that controls accessories like your bump stock stuff,
Mhm.
is that an arm? Is that keeping and bearing the arm? Well, then Judge Wu says Bruin doesn't apply. We don't even have to look at
So
history.
you got magazines, you got triggers, you got braces.
And not just artifacts. My question was, hey, isn't there a right to sell guns in California? Isn't there a right to acquire guns? And he's like, well, that's not in the plain text of the Second Amendment.
Mm.
And so I read Bruin to say it doesn't matter, and I don't have to look at the history. Because they all know, if you look at the history, there's only a history of acquiring and making guns in this country. So they know they're dead, and they have to invent this threshold question in Bruin. Well, actually, what Judge Thomas did was make the Second Amendment more restrictive. Actually, Bruin is a gun control argument. That's what I got out in California 2 weeks ago.
All right, so going back to your case that you're going to this time
Yeah.
in New Orleans, what specifically one more time, what is that about?
Sorry. That's about New Jersey.
New Jersey. Okay.
I'm
New Jersey.
asking for an injunction against New Jersey. I'm asking for a judgment, too, to hold that their law is unconstitutional in the First and Second Amendment. And I don't get the benefit of Bruin because I briefed it, 4 years ago or whatever, but still,
Right.
I'm asking for an injunction, and I'm asking for some recognition that the First Amendment and the Second Amendment protect the files related to 3D guns.
Okay. And so how you think it's going to come out?
If the law is applied by neutral judges,
You can usually tell by the questions that they're asking.
I
and who
bet
they're
you
questioning.
we'll know within the first 2 minutes.
Right.
If I'm getting a judge yelling at us, you
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Then we'll know.
Right.
But I think it's good. And the law of the case is really good. So there's been so many decisions on this case already. Judge Ho's touched it, Judge Elrod, Judge Jones. They've all written these big opinions. There's not too much that the Fifth Circuit can even do because the overall question is about hey, shouldn't New Jersey respect Texas law?
Mm,
Isn't that the question?
mm,
So shouldn't the Fifth Circuit rep its own team?
right.
So I don't see that I could lose really hard.
We're involved in so many lawsuits. It's actually pretty crazy. So you got the
Yeah.
bump stock lawsuit that we have. We also have the one we're suing. I'm in with the National Shooting Sports Foundation,
Nice.
where we're suing the state of New York because state of New York says that if we sell a gun here in Texas and somehow that gun winds up in New York and then it ends up used in a crime,
Yeah.
that they can come back and sue me and also
See,
sue the manufacturer.
That's wild.
Right.
You know.
So we got that going on. We have, there's so much. We're suing the federal government for the delayed denials.
Yeah.
Like if you walk into the gun store, you fill out a 4473. If you're delayed or denied, you report it to the FBI and every law enforcement agency in the country because they put you in the NCIS system. So we're suing them for that. There's some other things we're getting ready to file right now I can't talk about, but it's just crazy.
Well, you know what? I think that's something we got to take on as an attitude. You've always been good about that. But a lot of gun people think, well, it's not my fight. And gun companies, I mean.
Mm.
And it's like at this point,
If you don't
brother,
oof.
you got to be filing at least one lawsuit every couple of years or you're not
gotta-
doing anything.
Yeah, you got to get through the courts because just like, when we sued the city of Austin, if we hadn't done that, the legislature wouldn't have responded to that
Mhm.
because we sued the city of Austin and legislature was like, hey, whoa, we need to do something about this and change the law, in the state so it makes it even easier.
If they're not feeling that pressure from you, and I mean out of state entities, that you're in trouble. And let's make this more real. The reason I had to jump in California is because they also passed SB 1327. If you remember this, they created, kind of like we did here in Texas, a bounty system where they were going to pay people in California to sue companies like mine for just being in business, like you're saying. So, like your NSSF case, if I sue a ghost or if I sell a ghost gun kit, okay, and that makes its way to California or whatever, someone in California is able to sue me now because that's illegal in California to build a gun and to have a gun kit. Okay, like they can just go and do that. So you got to go take the fight to them. You can't even be thinking Texas is some kind of fortress. First of all, they're all moving here. But second of all, they've given themselves state laws to sue you from their backyard.
Correct.
And this is just what did they else do in 1327? They said if you sue us and try to get rid of our illegal and obviously unconstitutional gun law, and you don't win, we get all the attorney's fees.
Mm.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't
That's
see
one of the ones I'm fighting too.
No, I didn't
That's
see
one of the ones I'm fighting too. It's in 1327. They go, if you win, let's say you bring 6 charges, you win 5, but that 6th claim, whatever you settle, you don't win. We can sue you for the entirety of the cost for the state to defend the suit.
And I also want to find out what you think about 80% lower receivers too. What's going on with that? Where do we stand with that, King?
Buddy.
And we'll talk about that when we come back from the break. 80% lower receivers. We're talking about the ghost gunner. We're talking about suing the man. We're talking about fighting. Who's fighting and who's talking about it? There are some people that are talking about it. There's some people that are doing something about it. This is Michael Cargill, and you are listening to Come and Talk It.